Hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Kwame Sarfo-Mensah, owner and founder of Identity Talk Consulting, LLC, veteran middle school math teacher, here to provide you with another behavior management technique. And as you can see, I support other teachers who are in this movement. So this is Teach Hustle Inspire by my man, Dr. Sean Woodley out of Atlanta, doing dope things in the education space. You've probably seen him on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, any social media outlet you can think of. He is making a movement out here. So let's support our educators who are doing big things, transformative things, transcendent things in our field. And just wanted to show my support by wearing my Teach Hustle Inspire shirt, because guess what? When you're doing this work, you got to adhere to this creed, Teach Hustle Inspire. So that's what I'm trying to do my part. So without further ado, let's get into the method. Now, in every classroom, you have 3 groups of students. The first group of students are the ones who follow directions 90% of the time. You don't really have to worry about them. They can pretty much self-monitor themselves academically and behaviorally, and they're good. They're like your allies pretty much. The second group of students are 50-50. Some days they're great. Other days you're just thinking to yourself, man, they getting on my nerves, right? So they're a bit more inconsistent in terms of their performance in the classroom. And then you have the third group, which tends to be consistently, for lack of a better word, bad, or just consistently not engaged with the rest of the classroom, consistently off task, consistently not adhering to classroom expectations. Those are the ones who, you go home, you probably complain to your loved one about, like, man, like, this kid, I can't stand him, man. He getting on my nerves. I don't know what to do. I've tried this, that, and the third, and I still can't get through to him. We all have those 3 types of students in our space. So for today, I really want to focus on that third group of students, because those are the ones who really need our guidance the most, right? So I want to really focus on positivity, affirming students when they do the right thing, especially those students who are so used to hearing negative things about themselves from teachers, adults, other staff members, maybe even their parents and family members. We want to give them something positive to hear so that they can stay motivated to keep doing the right thing, right? And build that motivation intrinsically. So I'll share the first method of doing that, and that is when you're in the middle of your instruction and you're just observing the behavior of the class and the atmosphere, we tend to write names of students who are misbehaving. Let's try to write the names of students who are actually following directions, right? Because we're so used to operating within the negative that we don't focus so much on the positive, right? So if I see students who are doing really well, following directions, write their names on the board. Initially, they'll be shocked to see their name, because it's like, whoa, what did I do? Whoa, why my name on the board? Erase my name. Why my name on the board? I ain't do nothing. And then you explain to them, I'm writing your name on the board because you are doing the right thing. And that will hopefully cause other students to take heed and start doing the same thing. So writing names on the board of students who are doing the right thing is a method to really get your classroom focused. It's a way to get them focused. You could try doing that. Or if you want to go the verbal route, something as simple as, I like the way Sean is sitting in his seat. I like the way that Tashani is sharing her notes with Amia. Thank you, John, for turning to the next page of your assignment. Thank you, Diana, for sitting quietly at your seat and following directions. Something as simple as a thank you, a verbal thank you, will go a long way. So there's verbal praise where you're just saying, hey, I like the way this person is following the directions. Thank yous so-and-so for following this expectation. Students need to hear that. They need to hear that they're being affirmed by their teachers. So you want to try and do that. Verbal praise, or even just praise in a written form, whether it's writing their names or writing a compliment to those students who are following directions. There are definitely ways you can do that. Now, let's say it's that student who you just have a hard time getting through. You definitely have to emphasize when they do well. Whether it's a small thing they did or a big thing they did. You got to make a big deal out of it. Especially when it's something that they don't do consistently. You got to make a big deal out of it. Let's say it's that student who never does their homework. That one day they finally do their homework. That has to be a big celebration. Like, yo, clap it up for Johnny. Clap it for Johnny. He did his homework. Yeah. Make a big deal out of it. Because guess what? When they feel that energy, that's going to be enough for them to keep doing it. Now, will it last for a long time? Maybe, maybe not. I can't guarantee that, but you know what? It's going to build momentum. I can promise you that. It'll build momentum for that student. And they're going to want to keep trying. But you got to keep working with those students, right? And you know what? Let's talk about phone calls for a second. Whenever we tend, and this is something that I had to deal with when I was a kid. Like, whenever I did something wrong in school or my behavior wasn't great, the principal or the teacher would call my home to talk to one of my parents, mom or dad, to say, hey, Kwame didn't do X, Y, and Z. He's gonna have to serve a detention, etc., etc. We always operate in the negative. We don't do enough phone calls that focus on the things that students do right. And this is something that I always have to keep reminding myself. In no way am I perfect in this, but I try to make an effort to send a positive phone call to a parent to let them know, hey, your child's doing a great job. I just want to reach out to you because I want to make sure that you're still getting updated on your child's progress in my class. So I want to just let you know that, yes, he's doing a great job. He's following directions. He's completing all his homework assignments. He has passed all of my tests. And I just want to let you know that he just needs to keep up the good work and everything should be good for this term. Because here's the one thing that parents hate. From my experience and from other people's experiences who are in this space, right? They don't like it when they come to a meeting and they hear for the very first time that their child is failing your class. Now, maybe you've made a conscious effort to reach out to the parent. Maybe you haven't. But this is something that parents hate. It's a pet peeve for them. They don't like it when they come to a meeting. They might see the report card or a progress report and they see D's and F's and they tell you, well, Miss Sarfo-Mensah, how come you didn't let me know back in May or March when my child started failing? I could have done something to intervene and help out in the situation. So sometimes we need to let our parents know what's going on. So the proactive phone calls are helpful. Positive phone calls. I'm not saying do it all the time, but every now and then you see that a child is really working hard or they've made some significant improvement with their behavior, you need to make a big deal out of it and call the parent. If you can't call the parent, text them. If you can't text them, type up an email and let them know what's going on. You can even take a picture of the child if the parent gives you permission to take pictures of the child. Take a picture of the child in action, send it to the parent to let them know, hey, everything's good here. Because guess what? Parents work a lot of hours and they want to know that their child is following directions, right? So we have the positive phone calls. We have the verbal and written affirmation of students who are meeting expectations. So those are just two ways you can really engage your children and manage their behavior. And guess what? Because here's what students will say. If you always get them when they're doing something wrong, they're gonna call you out and say, you're always picking on me when I do something wrong. You never say anything when I actually do the right thing. Even if it's minority of the time, you don't say anything when I do the right thing. You always say something when I do something wrong. We have to try to create an equilibrium. We got to have a balance when it comes to how we manage our students' behavior. We got to let them know when they're doing well, just as much as when they're doing something not so well. They got to hear, they have to hear the balance. They have to see that we're being balanced in our approach. If we're doing too much of the negative, they're not going to respond to us in a way that we desire. So I wanted to definitely share that because that's something that you're going to have to deal with in your classroom throughout the school year. There are going to be some students who are going to do everything possible to get on your last nerve, and you have to find a way to build a rapport with that student. Making the positive phone calls is one way. Having a good partnership with the parents, that's imperative. But also calling them out on their stuff when they're doing something wrong, just as much as when they're doing something right. Having a balanced approach is even more imperative in this situation. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. Let's keep it positive. Let's stay in the affirmative, because that's what our students need. They come from homes where they deal with a lot of trauma from their families, from their immediate environments. The classroom has to be the place where it's a sanctuary for them. They have to feel safe. They have to feel loved. They have to feel like they are valued in that space. And the best way we can do that is to be honest with them. Call them out when they're doing something not so good, but also call them out when they're doing something awesome, so that they know that you do care and that you're being fair to them. And that's my word for today. If you have any questions or comments, just put them below this video. You could also reach me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the other social media outlets. I'm out there. So until then, y'all, let's keep teaching. Let's keep inspiring these students. And let's keep hustling. Just like the shirt says right here, let's keep doing these things, and guess what? We're going to get positive results. Not just for ourselves as educators, but also for our students. So let's keep those things in mind as we move forward through this school year. But until then, I thank you for your time and hope you all have a blessed day. Peace out.